Hey, what's up? It's a Tuesday. That's usually when we do these. And we're talking about new movies. All right. And when I say we, that's the two hosts of this show, the franchise. Me, the D Train, Daniel Ehrenberg, on the ones. And over there on the twos, there's Logan. Be you there.
Yeah, I want to let the record show that I tried playing Wordle this morning with Daniel. He said, no, thank you. He said, I want to record a podcast. I don't have time for any of your games.
I've never heard of Wordle. And also, I might have been more willing to play had Logan not been 15 minutes late to record after I had raced on foot, full speed back to my apartment, rushing to get back on time.
Yeah, I do feel bad about it. But we tried Snake on the first guess, and the S was correct.
I don't even know what this game is.
That's
You know,
crazy.
I'm a grown up, Logan. I do the New York Times crossword. I can finish the Sunday crossword, okay? Wordle's simply a fad, the way it was when I was in college and everybody was doing fucking Sudoku.
That's not a
Is
fad.
that still a thing?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't think Sudoku's still a thing?
Sudoku?
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, Sudoku, it's like Brussels sprouts, you know? It had its moment.
What are you talking? Do you remember the game Draw Something? That was for
No,
your
what the
phone.
fuck?
It was like an app. It was like Pictionary, but like an app on your phone that you play against people. You don't remember
No, but
this?
I used to play the game Cranium with my friend Josh. That was fun. You
All
had to
right.
draw
Well,
stuff
this was a game.
sometimes.
This was a game on your phone that you played, and it was an app. And on the show Big Brother, they have a veto competition based on the app Draw Something. So I wouldn't count out the possibility that Wordle appears on Big Brother at some point.
Well, then I'll have to acknowledge its existence, won't I? But for now, I will live in blissful ignorance.
Yeah. All right. Well, the first letter was an S. My next guess would have been stool, but we had to stop. We had to stop guessing. Let me know if I'm right, everybody.
Stool boom. Hey, stools. I could use a stool actually in my room. All right. Let's talk about them. We've got the Ghostbusters. Well, they're back. Not the women.
Nope.
The oldies, and then a new crop of children. And then we are also covering that new Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre, starring the girl from 8th grade and someone with a Jufro. Let's talk
I looked up that
about
title.
Ghostbusters.
I looked up the title, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's the first time they've ever had just Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They cut the
That's not true.
Yes, it is. I looked it up.
You're telling me that remake from 2003 had a "the" in front of it?
It had a something. This is the only one, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
I mean, though the newest one that Alexandra Dario was Texas Chainsaw. This is the first one, Texas
It was
Chainsaw
Texas
Massacre.
Chainsaw 3D, actually.
Yeah, you're actually right. Like Piranha
But
3D. I
but
love
there
those.
was one with Jessica. But there was one with Jessica Biel. What was that called?
I don't know.
Oh, it has a "the." It had a confirmed "the."
They all do. I looked it up, but some of the sequels are like Texas Chainsaw with a colon, but this is the first one.
Well, it Texas Chainsaw with a colon. Uh, the beginning, yeah, there was that one. All right, fuck Texas Chainsaw. We'll get there. We'll give it 20 minutes at the end. Let's talk about this fucking Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah, if we have to.
Oh, did you not love it?
Was I supposed to love it? Can I tell you something?
What?
I don't. Okay, here's the thing. People love Ghostbusters,
Oh,
right?
God.
They love it. It's the funniest thing in the entire world. It's the greatest comedy ever. I saw it. I was like 16. Ghostbusters is supposed to be a great movie. I watched it. It's funny. It's good. It's a Ghostbusters. It's not the greatest thing that ever happened, but people think that it is. It's fine. So I don't care about any of these movies.
I'm gonna
That's where I'm
say
coming
you
from.
were. I think it's an interesting place to come from, Logan, and I'm glad I'm talking to you about this fan service movie to someone who's not really a fan, because it would be the opposite with Henry. Henry didn't like this movie.
Yeah.
By the way, I know that he saw it, and we talked about it. But he is a fan, and I think that's what this is made for. Anyway, the fucking I just think you were also 16 when you saw it. That's a problem.
Yeah.
You got to be younger or older. At 16, you're a dick. Everything sucks.
Well, you don't think I appreciated it? I
I
appreciate it's like
think
four
I
funny
think you
guys hanging
go
out.
in I think you go in at 16 with like an intellectual's view of everything. You think you're smart. So you're watching it like, let's see what this is really all about. And then it's never going to be as good as you think it's going
No,
to be because
no,
it's
no, no.
considered a classic.
That's not true because that's around the same time I watched like Back to the Future. Like that. That's a time when I like. I mean, Ferris Bueller was earlier, but like that's a time when I watched like '80s movies that people liked, and I was like, all right, these are good. It's a good movie. I like it. I think I gave it 4 stars, but it's not like the masterpiece that everyone else thinks it is. I don't think.
Well, I think it's a masterpiece. I think that first Ghostbusters is a perfect movie, with the one exception, of course, of the ghost blowjob, which
Right.
would gives its name to my favorite theory on the franchise: perfect films with one bad scene. You call that the ghost blowjob.
Hmm.
But so they did the sequel in 1989, which is less beloved, but still has its defenders. It has its moments. Definitely better than this movie, if I may reveal my opinion. Um, and then you got then they didn't make another one for a long time, right? They didn't think they were ever going to make another one because they didn't have the cast. But they did Lady Ghostbusters, adjectiveless Ghostbusters, in 2016, and fucking people were real mad. It
Yeah.
did okay at the box office, I guess, but it upset people for some reason.
So many
I
people.
mean, yeah, yeah. For me, like it kind of went in one ear and out the other because like it was neither bad nor good. So like I watched it once and then I watched it for the show and then I forgot it existed until right now.
Right. I
Yeah.
thought I actually thought Paul Rudd was in that movie. I don't know why I thought that, but I thought he was in that movie. So when he was in this, I was pretty confused. But I think that's Chris Hemsworth, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Chris Hemsworth. Oh, yeah. The Avengers are all Ghostbusters now.
Yeah, I
He
knew
was
they had like a
playing
funny,
like
handsome guy.
well, the Lady Ghostbusters had like a sexy dude as their receptionist, so they can sexually harass him, and it's okay because they're women.
Right.
Um, so what we have here is something new. So let's talk about the development of this movie a little bit. I mean, they'd worked on a third Ghostbusters for years. Dan Aykroyd wrote it in the '90s. It was called Ghostbusters Hellbent. It was we've talked about it on the original Ghostbusters episode of the franchise, where it was like going to be a hell on earth kind of a shtick, and they ended up doing it for a video game in 2009. Have you ever played that video game, Logan?
No, I haven't. Didn't know it existed.
Me neither until I did the research for this. Okay, so then in 2010, I guess they were like, well, now that Aykroyd did that script as a video game, we don't have to pretend that we want to use it as a movie. So we can develop our own script. So they got Ivan Reitman involved, who had directed both of the original Ghostbusters movies, and he was going to direct it. And they hired these fellows, Lee Eisenberg and Gene Stupnitsky, to write a screenplay. They had been writing for The Office for many years, and they had just done Bad Teacher. Ultimately, that movie never got made, and they went on to make that movie, Good Boys. Remember that movie? It's like
Yeah, that's
little
a good movie.
boys cursing. Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah,
Anyway, better than Bad Teacher.
much better. Yeah, they like that. Good boys,
Is that?
bad teacher.
Yeah, yeah. I'm surprised they didn't also do Dirty Grandpa.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that would have been a good
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But God bless whoever directed that movie. I've never
one.
seen it, but I've seen some pretty good gifs.
Yeah, they're great gifts.
Yeah. So what happens is the movie goes into like development hell or whatever, and Ivan Reitman steps down from directing it to be a producer in 2015. And so they took that opportunity to then develop the Lady Ghostbusters instead, with Paul Feig, who was like hot at the time off of Bridesmaids and Spy.
But what didn't he do like Identity Thief? Was that him?
No.
Oh,
No, Paul Feig is known. I mean, he's very well respected. He co-created Freaks and Geeks, and and went on to do Bridesmaids and shit. But his career since then has not been the greatest in the world.
Right. Isn't he? Is he with?
I don't
Is he
even know what
with
he's
Melissa
doing right
McCarthy?
now.
Is that guy?
No, this is what you're thinking of. You're thinking of Melissa McCarthy's husband, Ben Falcone, who directs some of her movies and sucks.
Oh, why am I thinking of that guy?
I don't know.
Oh, well, he's a
He's
loser
the one who
then. That guy.
directed that movie you mentioned. But yeah, Paul Feig. I mean, he did that movie last Christmas. That's his last movie. Have you ever seen that?
Nope.
So in that movie, it's based on the George Michael song, which goes, "Last Christmas, I gave you my
Sure.
heart. The very next day, you gave it away." But so in that movie, they take it literally. And spoilers for the movie Last Christmas, but ultimately, they fall in love. And it turns out that one of them hasn't actually been alive this whole time. And they donated their heart.
Holy
So it's
shit.
like, "Last Christmas, I gave you my heart." You
That is
see,
good.
that's fucking. That is one of the worst movies I have
No,
ever
I like
seen
that. It's
in
like
my
an Edgar
life.
Allan Poe poem. That's very literal.
How is it like an Edgar Allan Poe poem?
Well, there's that one where with the monkey's paw, right, where they wish for the kid to be alive, but then it comes back alive, but he's like still dead. Basically, it's like very literal. You know
Right.
what
It
I'm
sort
talking
of influenced every single episode of The Twilight Zone.
about? That's pretty cool. I like that. You ever see the movie Safe
All right.
Haven? There's like a twist in that movie where the person's
Yes, I
been
have
dead the whole
fucking
time.
what? Yeah, not safe. Safe
Yeah,
Haven? Is that what
isn't
that's
it Kobe
called?
Smulders? Safe Haven,
No,
right?
no, no, no. I'm thinking of this movie, Silent House with Elizabeth Olsen.
I don't
Am I
know
thinking of a
that.
different movie than you are? Because
Yes.
that has a similar twist.
This is with Josh Duhamel, Kobe Smulders, and a blonde girl. The blonde girl's like a dancer, or she has a brother that's a dancer. You know who I'm
I
talking
got it.
about.
I
But
haven't
she
been able to escape Colby Smulders lately. This lady's everywhere.
really, I only really see her in the Marvel stuff these days.
I just fucking saw her playing Ann Coulter in American Crime Story Impeachment. And then she showed up. I've spoiler. Oh, maybe I don't want to spoil it, but whatever. How I Met Your Father. How I Met Your Father, I've been watching. And she was, of course, on How I Met Your Mother. And she popped up in the finale as her old character.
Okay, and Julianne Hough is who I'm thinking of.
Oh, I don't really know who she is. Is she like a professional dancer?
Yes, and she has a brother. I don't know. I can't remember.
Derek
She's
Huff?
yeah.
Wow, I
They're
have that
cute
name just
people.
locked and loaded. I have no idea who they are.
Yeah, whatever. Go watch Safe
All right.
Haven, guys.
Oh, maybe I will. Oh, you know what? It's a Nicholas Sparks thing, Safe Haven. I listened to a podcast talk about it once, and I know the twist. Yes, it's exactly like that. Last Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So they make the Ghostbusters with the ladies, and it's a huge, big budget movie. $144 million was the budget, which is, by the way, double what this movie cost.
Wow.
Yeah. The thing is, it just didn't do that great. So they were like,
I never saw that, by the
well,
way.
it's worth watching once.
Yeah, and I never seen
I
two
mean, but
either.
it's not like you're a fan of Ghostbusters, though. Like, if you watch two, you'll laugh a few times at like Bill Murray. But like, I don't, I don't know. It really the 2016 Ghostbusters, I think, depends very heavily on your interest in those particular actresses.
Don't the original Ghostbusters show up in that as new characters?
Yes, and it's very weird. It's odd. Yeah,
That
it
is
felt weird
weird.
at the time. I still don't understand why they didn't just make that movie a direct sequel, like have it be the next generation of Ghostbusters, like this one is. In fact, I kind of think like the script to this one is hookier. Like if they just did it where like the first 10 minutes of the Lady Ghostbusters was in New York, and then like they got dispatched to like the middle of America to like solve a mystery there, like, and then meet the original Ghostbusters at the end. That would be a better movie than both of these movies.
Yeah. Who cares?
All right, fucking people care. We're hosting a
I know.
podcast.
I know. They really do care.
Um,
Sorry, guys.
all right, so that movie came out and kind of laid an egg, and so they started developing a new one in 2019 with Jason Reitman. Jason Reitman both pissed a lot of people off and made a lot of people happy when he took the job, and immediately said that he was making a movie to hand the movie back to the fans, which was basically saying like, yeah, I understand those women, that was fucking bullshit, but I'm ready to make a real Ghostbusters movie for you guys. Yeah.
Wow.
Um, yeah.
And I've only seen
So Jason
Juno of his
Reitman,
stuff, by the way. I have never seen Up in the Air or any of the other stuff. I've only seen Juno.
you're good. Jason Reitman, yeah, we all used to think
Tully? Didn't he do Tully?
yeah,
People like that.
I do too. We all used to think Jason Reitman was talented until we realized that um, his only good movies are written by people with strong authorial voices. You know, so like the only movies that he's made that I think are good are, and by the way, he's Ivan Reitman's son. That's how he got this fucking job. All right.
Right.
Uh, the only movies I think are good are Juno, Tully, and Thank You for Smoking. Juno and Tully are Diablo Cody movies. Diablo Cody
Oh yeah.
cannot take herself out of her writing. Okay, so like that's what those movies are. You don't watch those movies and you're like, wow, you can really tell this is a Jason Reitman film. You can't. He
Yeah.
has no style whatsoever. He's basically Ron fucking Howard. Like, you know, Diablo Cody has a style. She has a writing style. You know,
Yeah.
so then his other movie is Thank You for Smoking, which he wrote. But if you go back and watch it now, it's pretty clear that he's just cosplaying Alexander Payne. It's the exact same tone as the early Alexander Payne movies, Election and Citizen Ruth and About Schmidt. Okay. And he's going for an About Schmidt thing in Up in the Air, too. I don't know. He's just like this fucking loser son of a successful Hollywood director who really likes Alexander Payne.
Yeah, he doesn't do it for you.
Jason Reitman, he used to. When Jason Reitman first started, I was like, I'm gonna watch all this guy's movies because I thought Thank You for Smoking was good. And then you just started seeing the tricks pop up over and over again. Oh, he did Young Adult too, by the way, which is also written by Diablo Cody
You like
and is
that,
good.
didn't you? Yeah.
And then, yeah, and then after that, he struggled. You know, he didn't have Diablo anymore, so he wrote this movie Labor Day with Kate Winslet and Josh Brolin, which was terrible and fucking tanked. Then he wrote this movie Men, Women, and Children that he directed, which fucking tanked, and everyone said was terrible. And since then, he did the Front Runner with Hugh Jackman, which I thought was really bad. Had like an incredible cast that he just squandered. And now he made this Ghostbusters movie, which is so appallingly horrible that I'll probably never see a Jason Reitman movie again as long as I live.
Wow.
Yeah,
You really hated this. I
I
haven't looked at your IMDb yet, so I don't know, or your
I
letterbox, so I don't know.
fucking hated this movie. This is
Wow.
this is trash. This is utter trash. This is everything that's wrong with the franchise, everything that makes it difficult for me to do this show because the movies are so hard to watch sometimes. Um, it's everything that's wrong with Hollywood today. This is a movie just made of nepotism and cynicism. I fucking hate it.
You didn't. Okay. You didn't like Paul Rudd at all.
He's all right, right? But then he
Yeah, he's Paul
disappears
Rudd.
halfway through the movie. But he disappears halfway through the movie. And then in the third act, you're
But what
left
about?
with a team of Ghostbusters consisting of a little boy with a podcast who calls himself Podcast and has the word podcast written on his Ghostbusters uniform. Okay. A black girl with no personality whatsoever, clearly included by Jason Reitman because he knows it's 2021 and you have to have a black character. And fucking, I mean, who are the other? It's McKenna Grace, who's just in everything now. You cannot escape her.
I love her. Can I talk about her? Because I love her. I've been a fan of her for a long time, and I think she's incredible. She's like gonna be the next thing. Well, I mean, I'm a fan of The Haunting of Hill House. She's amazing in that show. She's also in Fuller House. You ever watch that? You haven't seen Fuller House, But she's the littlest son's friend from school in Fuller House. She is so funny in that show. And then she's also been in like young Captain Marvel and everything else.
I like her
But in
in The
those two
Handmaid's
shows, she
Tale.
is so good.
She was on that.
Yeah, she's amazing. She was in like she's like the lead of that last Annabelle movie, right? She's
Yeah,
good in that. She's
yeah.
great in
I'm
everything.
nothing
I love her.
against her. Nothing against her. You know, of all the
Malignant, she was
Ghostbusters,
in.
of all the
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, she's probably the best one. And then Finn Wolfhard,
He
who's
sucked.
there because he wore a Ghostbusters uniform in one episode of Stranger Things, probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, he is the '80s nostalgia guy, right? They get him for it. They get him for all these things. Anytime they want you to
I
feel
don't understand
nostalgic,
why.
they get you this guy.
But why? He's not nostalgic to me. He looks like a modern kid. He doesn't even look like a kid. He looks like a bird of prey.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going for with him. I really don't understand it. Is he? I mean, have you seen him in other stuff? You watch like more shows. Is he in a show?
I've seen him in fucking Stranger Things.
That's it. Yeah.
That's all he does.
No, I mean I figured he was in another like show like in the
None,
off
none of
season.
those Stranger Things kids, none of those Stranger Things kids are gonna have careers. Not a single one of them.
Not even Millie
I'm here to
Bobby.
tell you right now. Not even Millie Bobby.
Wow.
She's gonna be like Emma Watson. Like Emma
Oh,
Watson,
come
like
on.
she's famous, but you don't know her for her acting.
What do you know her from then?
You know her, she's Hermione, and she's famous.
She was in Beauty and the Beast. That's a thing.
No one gives a shit.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that know her as Belle more than Hermione, right? There's got to be like there's a certain generation
No.
of people that know her as Belle.
I don't think there's a single human being on this planet that would look at a picture of Emma Watson and go, "Oh, that's Belle."
Your nieces?
Come on. No, definitely not.
Okay. There's
They'd say,
definitely
"Who's
people.
that?" Until I show them Harry Potter.
Yeah, I guess they would just watch the animated version.
Yeah.
I like Emma Watson. That's not fair. I mean, did you watch the one kid that's the worst one, the one that has no teeth? What's his name?
I don't know. I just call him Dumbface.
Oh well, he had a show on Netflix that was like Scare Tactics, but not Scare. You ever watch Scare Tactics?
I know. Yeah, yeah.
I love
did.
that show. But he had that show.
Mhm.
It was like a reality show, reality in quotes. But um, yeah, you're right. You're probably right.
I'm right. They're dead in the water, and they keep introducing more, and none of them are gonna have careers either. You think Sadie Sink's having a career? No.
I don't know who
You
that
think
is.
Maya Hawke is having a career?
Yes.
Maybe just because her dad.
Yeah, and her mom.
And her mom, yeah.
I wish David Harbour wouldn't have a career.
Oh, what's your beef with Harbor? I thought he was pretty good in that Black Widow movie.
No, he's like funny in that movie. He's pretty stupid, but he's been around forever though. That's not fair to him.
I think David Harbour, since Stranger Things, his profile has been raised too high. He shouldn't be getting as big roles as he is.
He was
but he's
Hellboy.
getting
Remember
there.
that shit?
I know, that was ridiculous.
Nobody
We gotta
saw
cover
that movie. I don't know a single person
I know
that
people
saw
that
that.
saw it. I do. I know people who saw it and liked it.
That's insane. Yeah, y'all never covered those Hellboys. I've never seen them. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I just hate Guillermo del Toro, you know. It's just gonna be me shitting on that guy and then getting yelled at on the internet.
You liked his new thing though, Nightmare Alley, right?
I did. Yeah, he pulled one out of his ass this year.
You don't even like Pan's Labyrinth? That's the one everybody loves.
No, I fucking saw that in theaters. Hated it.
I actually like The Shape of Water. I know you didn't like that movie, but I like that movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You ever jerk off to a fish?
no, but I liked it. I saw it alone in the theater by myself, and I was like way into it. And the music in that movie, there's some beautiful music in that movie. I think it won best score.
If you like the music, you can just watch silent films, Logan. That's what it's from.
Oh, well, it was a great song. So shout out to you, Guillermo.
Great job, buddy.
Can we talk about this writer guy? He directed Monster House and Poltergeist, the remake, and you've covered both of those.
Yeah, I thought it was an odd choice because Reitman, he doesn't always write, despite his name, and he got a co-writer for this, but instead of like hiring someone who's a writer, he hired this dude Gil Keenan, who's a director mostly. Like, I've never seen anything he's fucking written. He directed that Poltergeist remake, which is boring, and he directed Monster House, which we covered on We Love Kids movies. But Ghostbusters Afterlife is his first screenwriting credit. Why would Jason Reitman choose to write the movie with this guy?
I'm sure if you look it up, I'm sure they went to high school together, so I'm sure they know each other somehow.
You're probably right.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure he did him a favor, yeah. But I don't know. I mean, what do you think's the problem? Is the writing the problem or is the directing the problem?
Can I just do the stats first before I get into that?
Yes, 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 yes.
All right. So this film was made for a budget of 75 million. It made 197.4 at the box office. It was a hit, man. It came in at number 10 for the American domestic box office for the year.
And during a pandemic, so
Yeah, pretty good. I actually wrote down the top 10, Logan. I used to do this with Henry sometimes. Can you
yeah.
guess what else was in the top 10? We checked in a few months ago when it was still in flux, and now this is pretty much the final list. Everything's out of theaters. The top 10
So this is
highest
last
grossing
year.
movies of 2021. Yes.
Okay, does it only so would it count Spider-Man if that came out at the end of the year and then
Yes,
went into the new
absolutely.
year?
That is number one. That's the highest grossing movie of the year.
Okay. What about
I honestly
West
think
Side
it would
Story?
be
Did people see that?
even. No. No, you
Oh,
do
people didn't
better.
see West Side Story.
You know
I mean,
what
I
people
don't know
like,
what really
Logan.
came out
They
last
like
year.
superheroes and explosions, and they like
The
action
Suicide
movies that sort
Squad
of
came out last year.
resemble superhero movies. Yeah, but that's not in the top 10, actually.
Oh my god.
It's closer, though.
Was there an anime?
This
Oh,
is,
what about
honestly, this is crazy that you can't pull one fucking movie
Sing
out of your
2?
ass.
Sing 2.
I can't believe that's the one you got. Yeah, that's number 9.
Oh, Fast 9.
Yeah, that's number 5. What else you got?
Wait, did we count Ghostbusters? Was Ghostbusters in there?
That's number 10, sure. You need 8 through 6, and then 4 through 2.
Was there that James Bond came out last year, didn't it?
Yep, that's number 7. Very good. He's on fire.
Okay.
Like in NBA Jam.
Trying to think of what about The Matrix?
No, that didn't do well.
Oh my gosh. Was there what are the Disney things? Raya and the Last Dragon.
No, I'll tell you. Number 8,
Oh.
A Quiet Place 2.
Oh. Yep.
All right. Number 7 was the Bond thing. Number 6, Eternals. You forget Marvel, even when they're failing, they're still succeeding.
Yep. Great job.
Number 5 was F9. Number 4, Black Widow.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Number 3, Venom. Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah. How could I forget?
And number 2, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Rings of Power.
Yeah, that's the problem. I haven't seen like a lot of those. I'm way behind. I forgot about that in the Eternals. Yeah, great job, Chloe Zhao.
Great job to Marvel again for your
Killing it.
dominance.
Yep.
Yeah. Ghostbusters Afterlife has been nominated for one award, Logan. A BAFTA. You familiar with the BAFTAs?
Yeah. The British.
That's the British Oscars,
Yeah.
basically.
Right.
All right? And so they nominated Ghostbusters Afterlife for Best Visual Effects, presumably for the incredible depiction of dead Harold Ramis as a Ghostbuster.
Can I say, by the way, I think this might be the best like de-aging we've seen because he's actually supposed to be a ghost. So it actually kind of works.
The weird thing is, he never looked like that in real life. They like made him thinner and more handsome.
Oh, really? Oh, that's mean. Come on. I saw him in Knocked Up. He was pretty handsome. He's the dad in Knocked Up.
Yeah, by the time of Knocked Up, he'd become like a fat old guy. Like nothing against Harold Ramis, he like looked like himself. He just aged quite a bit. And he didn't really try to be a movie star, so he didn't care about his weight that much. And but yeah, I mean, he didn't look like he did in Knocked Up at the end of Ghostbusters Afterlife. He looked like this imaginary version of Harold Ramis who like aged amazingly, like Paul Rudd.
Did you know that was him that was dying at the beginning? Because I was like pretty lost. I didn't understand what was happening.
No, I mean I didn't, but it's revealed pretty quickly.
Yeah, it is, but I didn't really understand. I didn't know if we were supposed to get it or not. I
No,
don't know.
yeah, it's a mysterious
Do you
cold
like
open.
Carrie Coon
Of course, yeah. I'm a big Carrie.
in this?
Well, she's just wasted. Like she does the job all right. She's Egon's fucking granddaughter who like holds a grudge against her father for abandoning her, or not granddaughter, just daughter, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Uh,
McKenna Grace is the granddaughter.
right. So yeah, Carrie Coon is a big deal. Like she emerged on television a few years ago and seemed like the next big thing. Like she was taking over for Elizabeth Moss. Like she's gonna be the star of all like the hot new prestige television programs now. Um, Movies have pretty much wasted her. She showed up in fucking Gone Girl. She showed up in fucking Avengers Infinity War as like one of
Whoa,
Thanos's henchmen. Like she's
I don't
just
remember her in any of those.
I know. It's just wasted. But like there was this period of time, like she's on The Leftovers and she's amazing on the
Yeah.
show. It's one of the greatest TV performances of all time, I think. Carrie Coon on The
Wow.
Leftovers. And then right after The Leftovers, she got picked up for season 3 of Fargo, and she's absolutely amazing in that too. And ever since then, I've been sort of waiting for her career to come back to that level. I haven't watched this new thing on HBO, The Gilded Age, which was created by the fellow that did Downton Abbey and Gosford Park. Maybe that's good, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I think she's okay in
Big
this.
Carrie Coon fan, though.
Yeah. We actually talked about her recently because of the leftovers, and I wasn't far enough where she was a character yet, really. But now she is. I'm like 8 episodes in. Yeah, I like her a lot. But in
Did
this,
you watch? You got up to the one that's just like her at like a convention in New York?
no.
Oh fuck, that's like one of the best
But
episodes. That's
she's
in season 1 at
she's
some
like
point.
hanging out with Justin Thoreau. They're like sort of getting it on at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I felt like she's okay in this. I felt like the thing I kept thinking was that they used a lot of the like comedians in the last the women's Ghostbusters, and I felt like they needed a woman comedian, and she wasn't really that funny.
I don't think that's what they were looking for from this movie. The weird thing about Ghostbusters Afterlife is that on its surface, it's not a comedy at all. Like they're almost never going for jokes in any of the
But
scenes.
I thought they were with her
Um,
a little later, where she's like horny and she's like trying to get with
yeah,
Paul Rudd.
of course, because they do the thing like they do with Rick Moranis at the end of the original Ghostbusters, where they turn them into dogs. The fucking
He's the
the
best
third
part
act
of
of this
He's the
movie.
best part of Ghostbusters.
He's great. The,
Yeah,
the third act of this movie is just a fucking carbon copy of the original
exactly.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
It is disgusting.
yeah.
It is shameless. Um, and frankly, Ivan Reitman died recently, Logan,
Hmm.
and he saw this movie before his death.
Whoa.
I think it killed him. I believe that Jason Reitman murdered his father with this film accidentally. I don't think he intended for his father to pass away,
Yeah.
but
Manslaughter, not
but
murder.
but I think that Jason Reitman, in attempting to make a film as a tribute to his father, made a movie so poor and insulting to the intelligence of his father that, heartbroken, his father's brain just shut down on the spot and refused to go on living.
Which part killed him? Paul Rudd in the Walmart?
I think Ghost Harold Ramis. I think once he saw Ghost Harold Ramis, he was like, I gotta just join you, Harold. I'm coming.
I don't know about that. I actually liked Paul Rudd in the Walmart. That's the best part of the entire movie. You think
I
so?
Because it's funny.
And it's like
Because it's
they
going
made
for
a practical Zool. That's cool. I don't know if they
They didn't
made it.
make
They
a
probably just
Wait.
you
What
know,
do you mean practical Zool?
the big gargoyle thing. I mean,
Oh,
it's real
I
in
always
the
get like
inside the. Mhm.
because they make Zool. Zool's like a hot lady, right?
No, that's Gozer, right?
All right, I get. I don't. I get these
They're
mixed
all
up.
they're all confusing.
But but in the original, it's like some supermodel lady. Like it turns like she looks like David Bowie almost. And
You know
in
who
this
it is,
one,
right? In
it's
this one?
fucking Olivia Wilde.
Yeah,
Why
it's
did they
nuts.
get She's a director, as far as I know at this point. Why is she showing up in movies with no lines?
I don't know. There's like a few weird people. There's Josh Gad's in this movie also.
He's just a voice, though, right?
Right. And Tracy Letts is
Thankfully.
in this for a second. It's weird. This is a weird
Tracy
movie.
Letts is in this for a second. I
He's
did
like in
notice.
a hardware store or something. He like
What
owns a
was up with
hardware store.
J.K.? Oh, that's right. He does show up, and J.K. Simmons shows
Yes.
up as the founder of the town for like 2 seconds.
Yes, that's weird too. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so weird.
it's
But
a weird movie.
that's a scene that I actually liked when he's in the Walmart. Just like a pride, and the Zool when he gets on his car, it's like a funny shot. I don't know that kind. Anyway, he crawls. I like it when he crawls through his windshield after it gets broke. He's kind of funny,
Paul
you know.
Rudd.
Yeah, and I like it that he plays child's play for the kids. That was kind of funny.
It's funnier that he plays Cujo. That seems more like the kind of movie they would play.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it that it just cuts to the classroom and it's like the scene where he's like, "I'll throw you in the fire, you bitch!" He's like screaming at the mom. That's a great scene in that movie. That worked for me, and I love those movies.
That's the kind of movie this is. It's like they show you a clip from another movie, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I like
I
that
remember
movie."
that. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, it worked though. What do you think
um,
about the teacher's name? His name's Gary Gruberson. That's a good name.
any funny names are never funny.
Podcast is a funny name.
No, it is not. Oh, all right. So what is it? It's Egon's daughter, Carrie Coon. They show up in this town. She has two kids. It's McKenna Grace, who's like not really McKenna Grayson in this movie. She's like got a wig on or
Yeah,
something.
she's like a nurse. She's good though. She's good. She's my MVP.
What about that song over the closing credits?
I was gonna bring that up. I didn't know if you would catch that or not.
Oh
Yeah,
my god, dude! What an epic!
you thought so? I kind of thought
I
so.
I thought it was pretty good, man. I gotta be honest, it's probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah, listen. If you go back to like,
She sings it here. I don't understand. I never understand why actors want to be singers. I just why would you want to be like one of the best at something, like really famous for something that you're good at, and then just like be an anonymous nothing singer?
oh, I like it.
Here, this is the best part though. Wait, I fucked up. No, what's the chorus? It's the part where she goes, "A ghost never leaves a haunted house." You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Of course.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh. It's sort of Taylor Swifty. I was into it. If you had told me that was like like 2012 Taylor Swift, I would have believed you. Kind
It's
of.
just so weird that it's like some 14-year-old girl singing that.
You say it's like anonymous and she's not so great, but I listen. She doesn't even know who she is yet. Maybe she's a singer.
I don't know. Child actors are weird. Anyway, so her brother's Finn Wolfhard, and like they go off with their separate classes, right? She goes off to summer school and meets Podcast.
I didn't really
Who
understand that why she's in summer school because she's
I don't really
smart.
understand either. Presumably, she's one of the smartest kids.
Yeah, that
Maybe she
made
just
no
needs to
sense
catch
to me.
up. Yeah, I don't know. So she
I guess I
makes
just
friends.
wanted it to take place in summer for no, but that doesn't really make sense either. I don't know.
I don't really understand. I like the change of location. I do appreciate that it takes place in like Middle America, because like not every movie needs to take place in New York. I live here.
No,
Like it's great. Like a lot's going
y'all
on,
y'all
but
talked about
there's
this
stuff
with
going on other places too.
you talked about this with those Purge movies. Like y'all want to see a Purge set. I think y'all did say in Alabama in the podcast, but y'all want a Purge set
Hey,
in like Middle America.
they threw one in Texas, man. In the first Purge took place on the Texas-Mexico border, and it's not a good movie, but I appreciated it. No, not the first Purge, the Forever Purge,
Yes, because yeah, and
because the
I don't think I
first
saw
Purge
that one.
just took place on Staten Island.
That's Marissa
Um,
Tomei, right?
no, what?
Marissa
Oh,
Tomei is
right.
in the
I
first
forgot
Purge.
Marissa Tomei's in that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right. So she makes friends with Podcast, who has a podcast. And I hated this character.
I
I
didn't so much.
fucking I hated him.
I
I
thought
hate
the
this
kid was
kid.
okay, actually.
Nah, I want to beat
No,
this kid up. I'm an
no, I,
adult man, and this is a little boy. And his character annoyed me so much that I want to beat him up in real life.
the character was annoying. I thought the actor was okay. I wouldn't be surprised if this kid shows up in more
You
stuff.
just like him because his name is Logan.
Oh, was he? I didn't even notice. I didn't even know that. But
Yes,
I
his name
thought
is Logan Kim.
okay. I thought he was all right. You're a little hard. He's not my LVP. I'll give him that.
He's my LVP.
Yeah, not
He's
mine.
easily my LVP.
Yeah, no, he's okay.
Uh, all right, so I mean, what else even happens? The Finn Wolfhard stuff is so boring. Like it's
Yes,
just
that's
him
the
like
worst part.
dicking around, like they're hanging out in a field. They look down into a thing and see Gozer.
Yeah,
She's
that's all it is.
he's like flirting with this girl, and like maybe they'll kiss at the end. Who cares?
That should have been a thing because he goes into the store and he says he's 17, but then it was like big reveal is that he's 15. He should have said he was 18, and then they should have like hooked up, and then he turns out he's 15. That's some conflict. That's a plot that I want
Yeah,
to
but
follow.
but they're not doing anything that can be considered controversial in this movie, and then you're basically having one of the Ghostbusters fucking statutorily rape another Ghostbuster.
At least there's something interesting happening.
I
It's not just
guess
Gozer on some steps at the end of the
it's not just
movie.
Finn Wolfhard following around a guy named Muncher.
Yeah. What do you think about Muncher? Is Muncher in the original?
No,
I don't know
Slimer
Muncher.
is,
That's what I thought.
and so yeah, that's all. There's no original ideas in this movie. Everything's from the original. They show like a couple. You know how like in Ghostbusters, like ghosts run rampant in the city after a while, and they do like a bunch of clever shots, like a woman's fur coat turning into like a mink like
Sure.
ghost.
Yeah.
Like in this one, like they do that for like 2 seconds, but we only see like two ghosts, and they're both from like the original.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
notice
And
what
what's up with those
Paul
little marshmallow men?
I like them. They were like
Fuck that
murdering
shit.
they were committing suicide. That was funny. I
But
actually
why
liked
are they? But why are they little marshmallows in the original movie? Fucking Dan Aykroyd, like she says, the first thing you think of is gonna be what comes to kill you, and that's the joke. Is like Dan Aykroyd, very apropos of nothing, thinks of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Oh, I
and,
didn't remember
and
that.
that's like it's in the storyline. It's interesting, and so here there's no reason to have more Marshmallow Men. It's just nostalgia for the original movie, and I'm sorry that can't be your answer for everything that happens in a movie. You can have Easter eggs in a movie for nostalgia, but when I'm literally talking about major plot points of your movie and your answer for why they're happening is because of nostalgia for the first movie, I don't accept that answer.
Yeah. I okay, yeah, I didn't actually know that, so that makes a lot of sense why you're upset. And that whole scene actually is pretty pointless. It's just to get Zool. He goes into Walmart. Do you want to guess what he buys? Did you notice it all?
I didn't remember.
He gets Baskin Robbins, which is like the place that he works at in Ant-Man. So it's just like another callback to like another thing. So this whole scene is just pretty pointless,
It's a
actually.
fucking.
I
I
didn't
would
know that about the
never have
marshmallows.
gotten that. Is that definitely an Ant Man callback, or is that just that Baskin Robbins has now used product placement on two different productions
Oh, I mean, maybe it
with
is that,
Paul
but when I
Rudd?
see Paul Rudd getting Baskin Robbins, you think about Ant-Man.
By the way, you know what sucks? Baskin Robbins. You know what's better? Almost every other ice cream place.
um, I can't. I don't know if I've ever been to a Baskin Robbins, but there's a Ben and Jerry's in the mall. That Ben and Jerry's is
That's
way
way
better.
better.
There's a place at another mall near me called Maggie Moo's. It's an ice cream place. That place is pretty good too.
The hell are
Shout
you
out
talking
Maggie
about?
Moo's.
What about what's the one? Chipotle Creamer Cold Stone. That's what I'm
What?
thinking of. Cold Stone
Oh,
Creamery.
I don't know. Did you like the action scene? They find out they have a gunner seat in the car, so they're like driving the car with the gunner seat, and they're almost heading towards a bridge. And you think McKenna Grace is going to get hereditary, but she gets pulled back in at the last second. That was
And
pretty cool.
you might think that's original because that's not in the original movie, right? Nope, it's from the cartoon
Oh, I haven't seen the car. When was the cartoon?
in the '80s.
Did
I watched it every episode.
did y'all cover the cartoon episodes?
No, no, but that was one of my favorite cartoons as a kid. Like probably my two favorite cartoons at that time were that and Ninja Turtles.
Um, all right, they get arrested in this. Don't they get arrested in the original Ghostbusters? Or am I making that up?
Nope, they do. All the same
Yeah.
stuff happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get arrested, and then the black girl's in the next cell, and they're like, "What are you in for?" And she lies to them, and it turns out that her dad is the sheriff, and that's the only thing we ever learn about that character. That's her only character trait is I have a dad who's the sheriff, and the dad, by the way, is played by great character actor Bokeem Woodbine, who is billed fourth in this movie and is only in like two scenes. So I just want to give a
Whoa.
shout out to Bokeem Woodbine's agent. Very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to you, Bo Keen. What's he in? I don't know him.
I mean, well, he was in Justified back. He's been in tons of shit though. He's been acting since like the early '90s and everything.
Okay.
You'd
Um,
know him if you saw him.
I mean, I did see him. I watched the movie, but I didn't really notice him.
But I mean, if next time you see him in something, you'll be like, "Oh, it's that guy."
Okay. I like that actually during the credits. There was like an interesting thing during the credits. It says, like the credits are rolling, whatever. It says with Sigourney Weaver. And I was like, what? Sigourney Weaver? I didn't see Sigourney Weaver. Then it cuts to the mid. Did you watch the mid credit
Yeah,
scene?
and the closing
I
credits.
thought that was good editing. It says her name and you're like, what's going on? And then it immediately cuts to her. I sort of like that.
Wow, you're really finding stuff to say that's nice about this movie.
Listen, you got to try, or else no one's going to be happy listening.
By the way,
People like this probably.
I looked at Bokeem Woodbine. I said he was on Justified, but he wasn't. So that's not
Wow.
what. But anyway, he was in Crooklyn and Dead Presidents. I mostly remember him from shit from the '90s. He's in The Rock.
All right. I saw The
Hey,
Rock.
we covered him in Wishmaster 2. Evil Never Dies.
Okay. Was he the I forgot the character's name.
The
Sorry.
Jinn.
Yeah. He wasn't the Jin. He didn't
No,
play the Jin.
no. I think that was the one where they were in prison. I think he was in prison. Wishes. Okay. Anything else you want to talk about in regards to this film? How about so it gets to the end, the old Ghostbusters show up because Carrie Coon calls Dan Aykroyd on the phone. I think Dan Aykroyd can't play Ray anymore. He doesn't have the voice.
I didn't notice. I thought he was pretty funny.
He just he just sounds but he is funny. I thought he was fine in the movie, but I just think he sounds like Dan Aykroyd now. He's not really doing Ray. It's sort of like in Rocky 3 when like Sylvester Stallone forgot to do the Rocky voice in that
Oh,
movie.
really? I haven't seen Rocky 3.
He just sounds like Sylvester Stallone. And then in Rocky 4, he's like, "Hey, I remembered again." Um, so
Does he direct those?
yeah, yeah, he does. I guess he was distracted in that one.
Yeah.
So the Ghostbusters show up. Winston's there. Um, he was just the token black one in the original, so they made him a financial genius now
Yeah. I
for
didn't really
no
understand. He's in the
reason.
post-credit scene. I didn't really know what was going on there.
I think he's like forming a Ghostbusters corporation where it's like he's gonna use all the money he's made on the stock market to, to form the Ghostbusters. He has a weird line at one point where he says some actor bought up all of Tribeca and we had to sell the firehouse. That was like a weird, like fuck you to Robert De Niro.
Really?
Yeah, because that's who that actor is. Robert De Niro bought up all of Tribeca and started the Tribeca Film Festival.
Wow. The more you know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe De Niro turned down Jason Reitman for something. Anyway, fucking and yeah, and then Bill Murray's there, barely trying, just barely. He's trying in the scene with Sigourney Weaver because I think he's having fun with Sigourney Weaver, but he's pretty terrible in the Ghostbusters stuff. And they
I'm
pull
surprised to
out,
hear you say that because I thought the same thing.
yeah, they pull out their
I was
power
afraid to say it.
packs. Well, Bill Murray famously tries when he feels like it, and he the thing is he rarely takes paycheck roles. It's probably just like it's Ghostbusters, it's a legacy movie, all the other guys were doing it, and they probably offered him like a cool $1 million for like 2 days of work.
Yeah. Is he
Yeah.
better in this or Osmosis Jones, which you've also covered?
Osmosis Jones, he's definitely trying harder. He's doing like actual physical comedy in that movie.
He's like hanging out at a zoo. That movie. He is doing funny stuff.
Yeah, eating. What does he eat? Something weird, like really disgusting at the zoo. It's a good scene. Anyway,
We watched that in school a lot. Anytime it was like a day where we're trying to kill time, Osmosis Jones was like one of those movies they'd put on.
not Child's Play.
No, not Child's Play. Lion King one and a
Oh,
half. Weirdly, that we would watch a lot.
oh yeah. I don't really know anything about that movie except that it was one during the time I worked at Blockbuster. It was one of the biggest movies. When
Can
that
I tell
was
you
released,
like the
everybody got it.
the idea for it? It's
It
like
it's like Timon and Pumbaa's perspective of the first Lion King, right?
yeah, yeah, which is
Yeah.
kind of interesting. I think.
Yeah, they're sort of the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of the Lion King.
Does that mean side characters?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
Hamlet reference.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, Logan.
Yes.
Uh, I mean, what do we have to say about the end? They go through the motions of the end. Winston says, "I like the sound of the proton pack. That's great." And,
That's a cool sound.
and then everybody gets together. Carrie Coon and Paul Rudd kiss, and Bill Murray and Sigourney Weaver are still together, and presumably he raised that baby Oscar, and he's off somewhere else doing some weird shit. He should be. He should have been on the team.
Oscar?
Why not bring? Yeah, the little baby from Ghostbusters too.
Oh yeah. Oh, but you said he died, right? Wasn't that a part of the podcast?
What's
I
that?
thought you said the little baby died. Am I wrong about that?
No, what little? Oh, maybe the actor who played the little
Yeah,
baby,
I don't
but
mean to laugh, but that was a hilarious part of that episode. I think that happened. I thought it was a little like
I
Harry
forgot
Potter,
about that.
where how Ghost Ramus is like helping her with the proton pack. He's like over her shoulder, like Harry Potter. Reminded me of that.
Yeah, I so Ghost Ramus shows up to help. I fucking this is the worst part of any movie I've ever seen in my life, and fucking and the worst part of it too, because it's one thing for them to be like shooting the pack and then look over and there's fucking Ghost Harold Ramis, but fucking after that, like after they win the day, they try to talk to the Ghost Harold Ramis. I thought the Ghost Harold Ramis was just gonna like fade into oblivion, like bye everyone, and but no, like they ask him a couple
Oh, it's
questions and
he hangs
shit,
out for a long time.
but he doesn't. I kept wondering, like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna like use old audio clips of Harold
No.
Ramis? But they didn't. He's just
Yeah,
silent.
it's weird.
Like they keep having actors talk to him, and then like using old clips of Harold Ramis just smiling to make it look like he's smiling at what they're saying.
Yeah, it's really
It
odd.
sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it should not have been as long as it was. They should have realized what they had and what they didn't have. Yeah, it's weird. Is the LVP Jason Reitman? Can
If
we do that, by the way? Is it just actors?
I like to do it just actors. I prefer it that way. Ultimately, the LVP of this movie is Jason Reitman. If you're looking at everything on the board, the least valuable player of everyone involved is this fucking moron who created this piece of shit.
Right.
All right? And listen,
Exactly.
some people like this movie, and I understand that. Like, if you have nostalgia for the original Ghostbusters, which I do, this movie might hit your nostalgia button. All right? It didn't hit mine. I My nostalgia button is in a state of disrepair right now. It's going away. I don't have a lot of nostalgia right now. I pretty much fucking hate everything. But uh but this, like, if you like this movie, go for it. You're misguided and wrong, but like you're allowed. You're certainly allowed. But like, fuck this movie. Like, I hated this movie. I wish it was never made. I feel that way about this movie in a way I never did about the Lady Ghostbusters, and I think it makes this franchise infinitely worse that it exists. I
Wow.
I and I'll never see another Jason Reitman movie as long as I live.
Wow.
And I am hoping against hope that, I mean, this movie was number 10 at the box office. It did very well, but it wasn't like a huge breakout. I am hoping that there is never a sequel to this shit, so I never have to watch these fucking characters ever again as long as I live.
Yeah, and it's over 2 hours long. Like the few things I like about it is like the practical Zool, but that doesn't take up make up for a 2 hour long movie that just gives nothing anywhere else really. Like even Paul Rudd can't save it.
There are zero laughs. There are no good action sequences. I mean, if you're watching this, the best I can tell you is there's a few good special effects and a couple of performances that aren't embarrassing.
Yeah, shout out to you, McKenna Grace.
Yeah, honestly, she's one of them.
Who's your MVP?
My MVP is Carrie Coon,
Oh my
who
god, that's insane.
I think the first 45 minutes of this movie is classier because of her presence.
I don't know. I don't know. Get the mom from who's the woman from Jurassic World? Put her in there. No, I guess she's actually married to him in the Ant-Man movies, isn't she?
Who are you
Judy
talking
Greer.
about?
Get her in here. Judy Greer would be like she's like just as good.
She's not as good an actor. She's funnier, probably. Yeah, she probably would have done like the third act part better. But what are you gonna do?
To say Carrie Coon's MVP is great. If anyone else is in here besides McKenna Grace trying to carry this movie on her back, I'm not interested at all. I was like a little interested in what she was doing.
That's right there in the name. She's carrying it on her back.
Yeah, I guess so. All
Carrie
right.
Coon.
I'll give it 2 stars. I won't go 1 star.
This is a 1-star movie.
Josh Gad saved it for me. 2 stars.
Fuck you.
And my
My
MVP is
LVP's
McKenna.
podcast.
Yeah, mine is if we can't go Reitman, I'd go Finn Wolfhard. He just does nothing. All his stuff is the worst part.
Fuck that kid. Fuck the Stranger Things kids. Honestly. Fuck all those kids.
Yeah,
I wish nothing but bad for them.
I'm gonna edit that out of you saying "f these kids."
No, don't. Please include
No, I
that.
mean
Fuck those
no.
kids.
Edit it out as like a soundbite that I'm gonna keep. I mean like
Oh,
a sound
that's
drop.
fine.
Yeah.
Good. You could play it in years when they're all like arrested for doing some weird shit because they didn't have childhoods.